We can get started. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Or just pretend. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the States and one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Very good.
Nice flag. Nice flag.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Caucus.
Here.
Mrs. Passio. Here. Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein. Wait, he's
Right.
muted. Unmuted.
Yes, here, sorry.
Mrs. Kelly. Here. Mr. Shapiro.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Victor. Mr. Anderson. Can I see somebody else? And Mr. Woza.
Here. Where's Mr. Farrell?
What is that noise? It's coming from you.
For me,
Yeah,
that might be my AC, I'll turn it down.
okay.
You didn't get me, Joyce.
Mr. Farrell, here.
I didn't call you? I
No.
checked you off. I checked you off here. Somebody answered.
All right, here we go. Statement, public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 8th, 2020, and two, emailed to the Retrospect and Curry Post on January 8th, 2020. We have a few business items, and then we'll go right into the discussion items. So on the business item, we have Resolution 20-101, is the resolution granting the liquor licenses. And Joyce, is this for all of the?
This is for all. We are down to the bitter end. They're due tomorrow. So we need to do this tonight.
Okay,
We
so
were
we got
waiting
them all.
for one. One was waiting to the bitter end.
Okay, so would someone like to make a resolution, or make a motion to approve the Resolution 101, which authorizes the 2020-2021 liquor license?
So I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
And Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
Excited.
All right, this resolution is adopted. Resolution 20-102 is a resolution confirming 2020 appointments. This is the resolution appointing to the police department David Evangelista as patrolman and Mark Tricassi, how do you pronounce his name? Tricoci, as a Class 2 officer. I believe both of these gentlemen are on our civil service list. Mr. Evangelista will be replacing Mr. Koika, at least in the total number. He'll be coming in as a patrolman. This will allow us to make some additional adjustments later on after Mr. Koika, his retirement is finalized. And obviously for Class 2s, we need to have. Mr. Sampolsky, before we vote on this, just a quick question. How many Class 2s does this bring us to with Mr. Tricoci?
4.
Okay, 4. Which is good, which is what we're allowed, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, beautiful. So we got to maintain at least 4 Class 2s and then as many Class 1s as the department requires. So other than that, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion by Ellie, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Okay, roll
Thank you
call.
very much, everyone.
You're
I'd like to say something. Ellen and I got to meet both of these officers, and boy, they're really good young men, and it's a big asset to the department. These guys did a great job. Bill did a great job finding these guys, and they'll be really great to the town. They know a lot about the town already, and they're excited about being part of it.
I've known Dave Evangelista since he was about 6.
And he's a good young man. Used to play, he went through the RY. He and his dad and I coached soccer together. Known him for a long time, and he'd really be an asset.
And I'd like to say that I was sorry that I wasn't there today, but I wasn't able to attend. But I do know David. I did meet him for a specific incident, and that I went to his house, and he's just a very respectful young man, I thought. And I'm happy that Victor will be a part of our police department. And as far as Mark, you were youth mayor and council, part of our youth mayor and council at one time. You're the one that had a broken leg, am I correct? Is he there?
No, he's not on.
They're not on.
What year was that, Patty?
Okay, I can't see. I can't
Just
see.
me, Patty, Captain St. Paul's.
If you
What year was that,
remember,
Patty?
he was in
14 maybe? Before I came.
No, I had thought you weren't you there
I
with
don't
the broken leg? But anyway, Mark, it's nice to tell him that I'm very happy he's on board.
All right, very good.
Alan, you were there. Remember that little boy that well, we kept him on.
And that was he.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Do we have a motion? Second. Do we have roll call now?
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein,
Yes.
Mrs. Passio,
Yes.
Mr. Farrell,
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro,
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Okay. 6 ayes.
Okay, that resolution is adopted. For new business this evening, well, I have a shared service agreement. Is that something just for discussion, or is that a vote?
Where's that?
I think it's a discussion, isn't it?
What shared service?
Did I print something out wrong?
No, there was a couple shared services I thought on the agenda.
No, do you have the correct agenda?
I might have the correct agenda, but printed out the wrong. Maybe I
First
didn't.
on here is the hiring of public works employees.
Yeah, I don't have it on mine.
No shared service?
No.
No.
Okay.
What's it a shared service for?
Well, there's one with the Runnemede Board of Education for police
There's one
officers.
further down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is on, okay, it's just for discussion. It's not an action item tonight. Okay. Okay, so first we'll do hiring of public works employees. I think Mr. Wozunk has two gentlemen, I believe, part-time seasonal to help us with our leaf work, also with some of the other projects that are going to go on for the next 3 months. Harry, did you just want to let everybody know what's going on there?
Yeah, with getting close to the end of the year, the budget-wise, Mayor looked at it with me, with Mr. Anderson. And with that, we're requesting 2 part-time employees for 90 days. So not to go past 90 days for them to work at $13.27 an hour. They'll work 40 hours a week, and they'll help us assist with some of the projects we got going on that we'll be talking about later on to fill the gap and keep things moving forward.
Okay, so we'll put them on the council agenda. Mr. Lomenstein, did you want to meet these? But these are just temporary employees, but I mean, do you want to at least meet them?
I'll meet them on the road somewhere. I'm good with that. Due to the COVID situation.
No problem.
I trust Harry.
So we'll put them on the agenda, Joyce, as long as, Harry, you get all that paperwork into Beth, and,
Yeah, I just need the sheets filled out, the new hire sheets.
Harry, how many are you hiring for part-time?
2.
2.
2, Elmer.
Thank you.
then we have a refund of the mortgage company of taxes paid for 100% exempt property. We'll have a resolution to do that. We have a 100% exempt vet resolution that we have to adopt. The county co-op for the sodium chloride that we do every year in exchange for plowing. I'm just skipping a few of these because these are quick. Authorization of property maintenance liens. Now these maintenance liens will not go in the tax sale, but we'll continue to rack them up, correct?
Yeah, in fact, I got another big one today and I can't put it in the sale.
What's
It's
the,
already advertised,
how much?
over $1,000 for La Quinta. So we can only sell what was advertised for the 4 weeks.
Yeah, remind me to talk about the Kinta. That's something we can talk about a little bit tonight. County co-op or copy paper, we do that every year for our paper purchasing. Shared service between the Runnemede Board of Education and the security officer. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Long, I haven't reviewed this. I'm assuming it's the same agreement we've done year to year with them compensating us on an hourly basis. Does that seem accurate?
I can send it to Dan.
Did either one of you get a chance to review it, Mr. Anderson?
So, no need, I have reviewed it. I did.
Did that send it to you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Remember.
So as long as it compensates us to...
Greg sent it to me, everything's the same. I just changed... Everything's the same, I just changed the dates.
Okay, great.
It does look like there's a compensation of $33,750 for the 2021 school year, and then additional hours at $25 an hour.
Yeah, that should be fine. That should compensate us.
Yeah, so it's not just an hourly rate.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion on that, we can move on with that. The big one is obviously discussion of Halloween. Let's jump right into that. Ms. Fazio, do you want to give everybody an update on what the plans are?
Okay, so the plan with my committee, we met and we discussed what we were going to do for Halloween. Of course, you know how Runnemede is, and we're going to let public events is not going to stop. One way or another, we will make it happen. What we decided, and I hope you're all in agreement, and if you have any ideas, I'm open for whatever idea. But I did meet with Harry, I did talk to the police in regards to I will definitely need their help, and I will need the help from Public Works. So we've put a lot of burden to two departments. And what we come up with, we'd like to have a movie drive-in where the police would direct you to come in. It would be at the Harry Williams. The screen would be set up at the parking lot in front of Harry Williams, on the side of Harry Williams. The cars would be coming in. That would be up to the police where it would be the safest to be pulling in, and you would be facing the Harry Williams building, watching a movie. When you enter, you will be given we're going to call it a non-contact trick-or-treat bag. Each car. We would like the kids to be dressed in the car if you want to come. You can dress up your vehicles if you like. I don't know yet if we'll even do a little contest. I don't know yet. But you will be receiving a trick-or-treat bag, and it will contain some candies wrapped up, of course, a drink, probably most likely water, and some trinket or two. So it'll be a nice little grab bag that will be given to every kid, every child in the car. Then you will watch a movie. It will start at 7 o'clock on Halloween night. Probably about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I'm looking to possibly Nightmare, if I can, Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm going to get it for Christmas. I'm going to get Jump Stove, you never know. I put it in and it's not going to work. I believe it's a 20-foot, Harry, correct me if I'm wrong, a 20-foot screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I have Harry doing some work for me. The guys will be doing work. Have I forgotten anything, Harry, in regards to that or committee? John?
How are people going to hear a movie? Is it going to be on your radio? You tune it in?
I don't know yet.
We'll be using the PA system there.
To the PA system, okay.
I'm putting a lot on this happen, but it's going to happen with the help of Public Works and the police. So
Is it going to be a G movie, G-rated?
I'm trying to get, a good movie that the parents
Can we have some movies later on? Okay.
we're planning on that. for Christmas, we're gonna do the lights and sticking with the lights and working on that.
Joyce, can you turn your mic off, Joyce? We're getting bad feedback.
Yeah,
Not me.
it's feedback.
It says Runnemede administrator.
Okay.
Can I just say two things? One is
Yeah.
the screen will be facing the baseball fields.
Yes.
So there'll be some areas for parking.
Mhm.
And two, I think the bags are a great idea, handing out the bags, even if someone doesn't feel to stay there.
You know, go ahead.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say is this evening, we do need to, I think at the council meeting, we should adopt our standard curfew policy for trick-or-treating. We'll limit the hours, either what we did last year, if everyone feels that was okay, or more of an abbreviated 3 to 7.
Well, now remember, this is a Saturday, so we always work curfew in regards to the kids getting out of school. So the kids won't be getting out of school. We can make the curfew earlier in the afternoon versus, what do we start at 2? It's usually 2 to
Well, that
7.
might not be a bad idea, and then maybe end before it gets dark.
Yeah.
So let's come up with it, maybe 2 to 6 or something like that, and then try to get them.
Nick, would we be able to go as far as recommending that instead of knocking on people's doors and getting the close contact, putting the candy outside your door, anything like that?
Listen, I have a great idea. I saw it on TV. I was telling the mayor. Now listen to this. We can get him off the mayor. He's charging us. No, but it's a big long cardboard tube, okay? And you paint it orange and you can duct tape it with black. And you it sounds crazy, but it can work. And it's a tube. And you put it on your railing or fix it some way, and when the kid, and it's really cute, you put a little sign that says, put your bag here, and it's at the end of the tube. And you, like a conveyor belt, you shoot your candy down there, and the kid touches it. I'm doing it. I mean, if we're going to have it, I'm doing it.
Well,
Good idea.
It out that I do have them for my business. But I do want to say that the curfew is important, that we do that, and the rules, I think we need to make it clear that our intent is to have trick-or-treating, but we will follow all social distance guidelines, and if something changes in the next 30 days, we know this, that we have to be prepared to let people know that things may change again. And of course, we don't want to force anybody to do anything they don't want to do.
Nick, if residents choose to open up their door to give out treats, should we actually, if we're going to put a statement out, request that if they're going to participate, they wear a mask as well?
I agree. They should wear a mask, they're going to be in close proximity, and they should put the treats, potentially even put the treats in a bag. I mean,
How do we say it? On our website, direct people to our website?
We got to do the best we can. We'll pass our resolution next week. We'll set up some details about the curfew and about the process, even about the movie and what we intend to do. Try to help people as much as we can. But if someone wants to put their treats out for the kids to walk up, the honor system is not a bad system. It's, it depends on the kids. It's a tough year, so we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Addie, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I did. I did. I want to talk about I'm sorry.
There is no enforcement choice. The police department is not going to run around and do anything.
I know. That's why I don't know. Well,
We're making suggestions. We want to follow the law, but we're not going to have Halloween police running around.
correct. I agree. What is Murphy saying about all this?
Dan?
Nothing that I'm aware of yet. So I think we take a wait and see approach for right now. We may know more in a week. I think once the calendar changes to October, it usually prompts that discussion to have happened, but I think we have a lot of good ideas. But I think what we should do before we make any decisions, take some cues from the state and kind of go from there. And I'll keep everybody informed as we go.
Ultimately, when we come up with our decision, we should, who will decide the final outline of it, and it will be posted. I guess Joyce will post that, right?
We'll post it on our Facebook or our website, any kind of media that we can get it out there. And we're gonna basically finalize this at the council meeting with the curfew. But the planning will be mostly,
Right.
we want to communicate to the committee what's going on. But I think what Dan's saying is the last caveat is everything is still based on the state. If something changes, the rule comes down, we're going to follow it. We need to let you know to follow the rule.
It's one of those things where the decision will make the best plans you can, but the decision very well may be made for you instead of by you.
Yeah. I agree.
So Dan, the decision that would be made, would that be just for trick or treating door to door, or would that include the movie? You know, the drive-in movie with.
So the drive-in movie still follows the outdoor gathering restrictions, but trick or treating may be its own thing. So I think we'll have a lot better idea in a week where we are. I really do.
Remember, we're not asking people to get out of their car to watch the movie.
Nobody's
Right.
to get out of their car. They're going to remain in the car and watch a movie like the drive-in movie theater.
They're either going to drive through, pick up their goodie bag and leave, or they're going to drive their goodie bag and stay.
Stay for a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? I think we have sort of a plan at this point. It's going to evolve, but by next week, let's at least iron out, since you're right, it is a Saturday, let's iron out our curfew. Obviously, curfew predicated on that it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then we'll put that in our ordinance, our
Right.
resolution.
Well, if it doesn't happen, you're superseded by the state and executive orders, and we're required to follow them. So I think you can set the curfew next week. That's fine. But again, as long as it's made clear to everybody in our communications, and with council members and for everybody who's listening right now, and place on the website and your Facebook page, everybody does a great job of communicating in that way. Just make clear that this can all change and change relatively quickly.
Can I say one thing?
No.
Shut up. As far as the curfew, this is going to be a movie we're showing, right?
Yes.
So you kind of need darkness, right?
Yes, it's going to start at 7.
The curfew's
okay.
only for trick or treating.
I'm going to call
Oh, trick-or-treating curfew.
Right. This is you're with your parents. You're in the cars. Different thing.
Right.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. And just
yeah.
one more thing. I don't know if Eleanor, if you're going to, present it or not, but I'll say it. There's a cleanup on Saturday at Green Acres.
So we'll go through our committees. We'll go through the committees. I'm just going down we'll go through each committee after we go through the discussion items.
Okay. Want me to stop?
Yeah, I just want to do Halloween.
Okay. All right.
Let's continue on the agenda, and then we'll come back to each
Okay.
person.
Not a problem, Nick.
All right. So,
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah, Halloween was important. We wanted to get that done. The discussion of another redevelopment zone. I believe all the members of council, we've discussed this a little bit about the idea. Mr. Long, do you want to add to this, or you want me to just summarize?
You can summarize, Mayor. I could never do as good of a job as you breaking down the details of this thing. You did take a lead last week in this, to be honest. Hey, I'm a mayoral appointment, okay? Don't forget that.
Please get control of yourself.
Added another hour. Thank you.
Oh my God. So the redevelopment zone, the current, just so everyone knows, what we're looking at is on Clemensburg Road, from Heritage to Hill Avenue, those commercial properties there, which there are 5. It's Heritage, Deluxe, bakery is the retail, and then there's the Ice House, and then the Rasta building. So those buildings, what we're looking at, and also, and including our parcel of land behind it that the borough owns. And the idea is that we'll put that in we'll do a study first, take a quick look at it. It should meet the criteria, because we can all say that those properties need to be improved. And then at that point, if it meets that criteria, it allows us some negotiating points with those property owners for anything that comes along. I mean, there are some potential opportunities. I don't want to say them tonight, but hopefully this will at least set the stage for council to be the lead actor on this negotiation and this potential redevelopment. Is there any other discussion with that? Because what we have to do at the council meeting is we'll do a resolution sending it to the planning board for them to do the formal evaluation. Is there any discussion? Anybody have any concerns or?
Well, Mark, Mark, will Bach be providing that, Candace? The resolution?
I think, yes, Mark.
I can coordinate that, yes.
And so Candace will provide us the blocks and lots and the description of the properties. And it's only, like I said, 4 or 5 properties. So it's a much more limited than we've done on the Black Horse Pike, and even more limited than 9th Avenue. So I think it's good. These redevelopment plans, like I said, one of the class I took about this, the best way to give an analogy of this is if you having a redevelopment zone, we can actually almost pick the shutters on the building. Whereas if you go to the planning board basically can't say no, it's a yes. And then there's no real negotiation. This gives a lot more negotiation on both sides, both for the applicant and for the council to come up with some. So we'll have that on for next week. We have a couple of things that we had talked about at the reorganization meeting and during the budget process that we discussed, but council, everything has to finalize with a council action. So the two I'm going to put together, I'm going to skip the light on Evesham. I'm going to put the $2,000 stipend for the fire company. And I'm going to put the discussion of the sustainable chair and assistant. If you recall, at the reorganization meeting, we made it clear that we wanted to appoint people. We had some problems with renewing our bronze certificates with our sustainability. I think the idea was to more formalize this department, take a little pressure off of Harry, put a little more pressure on other people to get this done. On the same token, the fire department process and also the budget process, we wanted to compensate the volunteers for showing up to calls. So both of those actions, because they involve money, we couldn't just do it where we had a resolution where we made the appointments, which is what we did. And we have to actually have a formal resolution for Greg to put in his budget documents, or just to justify his expenses. So one, I want to just go. We'll do the fire department first. Is there any discussion about the $2,000 stipend? Does everybody understand what that is for the volunteers? So what we'll do is we'll do a resolution. Patty, unmute yourself.
Sorry. Is that what we were talking about? Like, if whoever participates and has a good, puts a lot of extra time in, they get
It was a small incentive for the volunteers.
So it goes to particular people in there, EMTs or
Volunteers show up on calls. So say a fire alarm goes off at 2 o'clock.
okay, like we gave one other time. We gave them what did we give them, Eleanor? Cards?
Yes, we gave them gift cards.
Gift cards. Okay, so it's like that.
But much more formal. So it's formal in the sense that the leadership of the fire department will keep track of it. They're keeping a running total.
Will be divided?
Yes, it's a limited amount of money, so it'll be done in the best and the most equitable way to pay it. I mean, we've never done this.
By merit. It'll be by merit too. By merit.
Thank you, exactly, okay, yes.
John, did you have a question?
Bob?
I was just going to say it's an incentive, and it's an incentive and a reward for the people that show up to the calls,
Yeah,
and that's what it's for.
that's what it's
Yeah.
So we'll do a resolution, for that. And then the sustainable, if you recall, I mean, there is a lot of work to do these things. We do not have a grant writer. We have to realize that it really falls upon the members of council, myself, and the leadership of the different departments. So, department heads, like the chief of police takes care of safe and secure. The fire department, they apply for different grants in their departments the same way all the other ones. So sustainable is something I think it benefits us in a lot of ways. It's something we realize it's going to put a lot of effort in. And if you recall at the reorganization meeting, we did appoint to Mr. Ranieri and Miss Ulmerson as the chief director and chair. But the simple fact is there is time involved, and we all know we all have time. We've realized that compensating ourselves is important, even if it's just a trivial amount of money, $100 a month here and things like that. So I believe that we have to continue this. We have to rewarding people, and you never know who the next person's going to be. And that's the other thing. You know, we have to,
You're so wonderful. I mean, isn't volunteering so wonderful?
you know, I agree 100%. The only thing I'll say about that is,
It's a shame. The only way you can get volunteers is to have to
Pay.
offer something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, just to let everybody know, not to disparage anybody, but I was talking to our fire department today. I took a drive down the Whitehorse Pike. And if you drive down the Whitehorse Pike, you'll see a fire station that's closed. And, you know, things like that is something, you know, volunteerism is waning in this country. You guys know tonight's my bowling night, and there's people don't bowl anymore. So my bowling night got switched because of the lack of participation on Monday nights.
Is it because of COVID?
Yeah, that hurt too.
Because of that?
But there's something to be said about that. We're very lucky in our fire department that we do have a good amount of volunteers. I think we are lucky that we have people in our arts and our youth athletics, but it's getting harder and harder. You know, in the old days, the dads were the umpires and the referees. Those days are over, correct, guys? You know, I mean, there's a professionalism too that's added to that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're absolutely right, Nick. You know, I agree with you. But I would just like to know, with the sustainable chair and the sustainable assistant, what are the job duties going to be?
Well, I think that's the first thing we'll figure out after this year.
The grant that you filled out, that happens once every 3 years. So will it be, John, will it be about educating the children, projects, you know, things like that?
You know, for example, the PIE program, the PIE program, takes a lot of time.
Is that a sustainable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's running it.
What will we get out of that? Not that I want to get into the pie thing right now, but what will the Borough of Runnemede get out of doing? There's a lot to do.
Yes, and we've only just begun. We've only just begun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready.
What we're going to get out of it, what they're doing right now, and when my report comes, I'll elaborate a little bit, but we're in a landscape period where we are just doing a survey of the borough, its departments, its IT, the programs we're running, the platform we're using, how advanced are we, how behind are we, each department, things along that nature, our media, our website, what kind of links do we have downloadable documents for the code enforcement department, things that we've always wanted to get to but haven't done yet. This is going to get us there a lot quicker. Not because anybody's really going to help us either, but they are. But because going through the landscape and the analyzation of everything uncovers so much. You're engaged. You learn. It takes a lot of effort, right, Eleanor?
Yes, it takes a lot of effort.
And we uncover our weak spots, and then along the way we find out what we want and how to get there. So it's a good program, and you know it is what it is. We're going to do it right. And if I'm chosen to be the chair, I'm going to give it my all. And you know, my all is quite a bit.
You are the chair, and you're not allowed to leave until the end.
Yeah, you already are the chair. You were appointed in January, John.
I know what I am. I love it.
What John just said.
I love getting green, and I love being more sustainable, and that's my personal goals as well. To leave less of a footprint and to make this world a better place when I leave it than I found it.
Well, call me up. I have a good project for you, John. Call me.
Well, Patty, and that's what I wanted to jump in on, what John just said about the evaluating. And I think that's something that if we can learn from this experience, how we can take that to be able to do that analysis and focus that on some other aspect of the borough. You know,
It's going to be amazing.
Right, because we've been doing that for a few years now.
But not to pick on the police department, but and I do pick on the police department sometimes, but, Jersey City had problems. They had some problems up in Jersey City, and other municipalities had problems. And I think when those other towns have problems, it's an opportunity for us to turn around and look at ourselves and say, hey, how is our police department doing something that they did wrong up in Jersey City? And so that we learn from their mistake, and we learn by just even looking at the way we do things. And the example, and the captain can jump in because I know we have a process, but they had an issue with outside employment. You've seen all the construction work going on in town. So, that mechanism, and sometimes you have to analyze it. We have to sit there and look at it and reevaluate it. And I think that this program is going to teach us how to gather that information, look at it, go back to the parties involved and sit there and say, well, what are we going to do what are we doing? What can we do better? What did we do wrong? What are we doing wrong? And those kind of things. Correct, John? Is that, I mean, that's how I,
Okay,
Yeah.
so is it costing the borough anything?
No,
just our time.
Just time, a lot of time.
A lot of time. No, that's what they said when
yeah,
you're.
and we're trying to get to the point where we can get to put a Zoom meeting out. If we could do that, we could have little sub meetings. We can get more information out. I could, I can't come over your house really, but we could talk more and we could communicate better. So that's one of our next steps. Joyce, the mayor, myself, and we're working on that. So we're making progress.
Well, during your report, you can elaborate a little more on the PIE program, because we're just about there. So the sustainable chair, like I said, I think Patty's point's valid that we have to continue. We have to figure out, if we can't get people to do stuff, how do we motivate them? And I think that's always been the argument. All of us on the screens that I'm looking at, we're the ones who typically show up to things to help out. We need to keep expanding it, and sometimes even a small study bit makes a big difference. The RY used to pay kids to umpire, and I loved it. I gave my money up front because I hated umpiring. And, I got booed off one time, so I paid every time. So that's the future, though. Okay.
I remember.
You remember that?
Okay, so the money's been budgeted already for this, for the chair and.
Yes and no. I mean, Mr. Anderson's job is to massage things because, once again, I think that one of the failures we've had is, I think you heard what we did. We made an appointment, but we didn't follow up on the budget side. Then on the other side, we did something in the budget, but we didn't follow up on the resolution side. So making these things come together is sort of what happens sometimes, and that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a quick one.
In our defense, we do a lot.
We're jumping around.
We move as quickly as we can, and sometimes we don't dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but we are so concerned about getting everything done. That's why sometimes we miss a step or two.
But
I'm
Mr.
okay.
Anderson will hold us accountable. He's the one who's making sure we do dot our I's and cross our T's, so we'll do that.
I know.
If everyone knows the crossing light in front of St. Teresa's got damaged.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah, that was the light that the county put in for us, but it became our property after they put it in. So it got hit by a car. It was a hit and run. Our police department's doing their best to try to find that individual. But at this point, we are turning it into our insurance company. It's still going to cost the borough $2,500 deductible that we have. But it'll get up as quickly as possible. The school
Did you hear
needs
what the
it.
bill is?
What's that?
Did you hear what the bill is?
$13,000.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Aren't we going to get any help for that? No help at all?
We have insurance,
I'm
but
sure.
we want the party who hit its insurance to pay for it, not our insurance.
Yeah.
do they have his tag number?
At the police, they're doing their best to look at the video and try to find the individual.
It's an ongoing investigation.
Gotcha, thank you.
And then, but I will say our police department is doing a good job. They are there in the morning to help because that light is not there. There's been an officer there almost every morning to help with the crossing guard to cross the kids. And
I received a call from Sister Nancy, who I have a really good relationship with, and I took it upon myself to. I'm out there at 7:30 in the morning. The kids get in, and then I'm out there at dismissal, and they're very, very happy with that until our light's fixed.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay,
Thank you, officer.
now, I think there was a time frame on that light. Do we recall how long it was going to take for that light to come in, Harry or Greg? I don't remember seeing that.
I don't know. I just saw the bill today. I don't know how long it's going to be.
That's all I
It's about a 2 to 3 week lag in the parts to come in.
Okay, at least it'll get done. Now we have discussion of the letter for the New Jersey officials regarding changes to exit 3 of the Turnpike.
Mayor,
Yes,
the light on Evesham is that's not the light that I put down there. This is the light that the resident asked for in front of their home.
Oh, sorry.
That's about, where's Craig? Craig knows about it.
You know what? I'm just gonna jump on that real quick, Greg.
Never
I think that we have he's asked for this light for a while. I think our members of council, as long as there's no objections, we've done this a few times. We've taken lights down, we've added lights. I think if it's in a good spot, it's a public safety issue, and nobody has any objections, I think we put it on as a resolution. Any concerns? It's a street light.
Yeah, it's a street light. I was out to his house a couple times. It started right before the pandemic, then everything got delayed. But I was out there at nighttime, and it is very dark in front of his driveway. There's no light for like 3 blocks right around there.
So, okay. Puts it down from
understand.
Rowley down to the
Craig, is this what we're talking about, this light here?
I can't see that owner. I don't like it. It's hard to see. It's at 703 West Evesham. It's almost down to the where the barber shop is, and
from Rowley,
right around there.
Right to the point. There's no light. It's dark.
It's beyond road.
No light.
Yeah, it's beyond road. So.
Is there an initial fee for that and then a monthly fee?
Yeah, there's a monthly fee. On the sheet, it says the monthly install totals at $20.
The fee is $20.34 per month.
Yeah. That's what I have on the sheet.
Yeah, well worth it. Great.
Yeah, that's all it is. So.
Sorry about that.
Dark. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't agree, I have the resident's number. You can talk with them then.
There's no sidewalk there.
$20, I mean, come on. I think we can afford that. Don't you think, Mayor?
Yes, and we're going to continue to work on sidewalks along there also.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. I'm going to get to that letter for the Turnpike. So if everyone knows, Assemblyman Moen, him and I had spoken about some of the lack of maintenance around Exit 3 with the way the Turnpike has really neglected Exit 3, cutting the grass, making it look presentable. But at the same time, he made it clear that if everyone knows, the tolls have been raised on the Parkway and on the Turnpike. But that money is going to pay for capital improvements. And what they're doing, or they're planning on doing, is expanding the Turnpike from Exit 4 to Exit 1. So where it's 2 lanes, it'll go to 3 lanes, both directions. It should really make a big difference on
They
traffic.
need to do that.
Yes. And then on the Atlantic City Expressway, increasing from basically Washington Township all the way down to Atlantic County, from 2 lanes to 3 lanes. At least that's, I think, the preliminary analysis is to look at those widening of the roads. But it was a good opportunity to also have them look at Exit 3 in its own self. If everyone realizes that a lot of the traffic coming off Exit 3 isn't just people going home. It is truck traffic.
Yes.
Traffic that's
Very heavy. Very heavy.
Or toward Philadelphia. So at this time, since they're doing the engineering and they're looking at the design of it, he's asking both Belmar and ourselves to at least ask the Turnpike Authority to at least investigate if they could put a ramp so that some of that traffic could go directly onto 42 to go either north or south to the bridges or towards Atlantic City.
Without going on the pike, is that what he's
It won't
saying?
go on the pike at all.
It won't go on the pike.
I will say it's a double-edged sword, and I want to just let everybody know this. I think traffic's going to be a problem forever, but if we can alleviate some of it, it's positive. Some of the business owners, I'm a business owner on the Black Horse Pike, so I hate the traffic and I love the traffic because it's 30,000 potential customers driving by my building. But I would also argue that traffic is so terrible, it actually pushes people away also. So, I think everyone agrees with that traffic pushes people. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think I just appreciate the Assemblyman's concern and at least looking into it. it might work, you know? I mean, look at what's going on down at 42 now. Is there any?
Nick, do you think if it lightened the load by even 10, 15, 20%, that it would be better traffic and they may stop and unload a couple dollars in Runnemede?
Well, no. I think that a lot of that large tractor trailer traffic is what I would like to see off the pike. Those big trucks that either get off, now if they're going to Benigno Boulevard, or they're going to 9th Avenue Industrial Park, they're coming into our communities. But if all they're doing is getting off the Turnpike to get on the 42 to cross over to go to, you know, to the Philadelphia, to Waltman Bridge, or if they're getting off to get on to go to Atlantic City, they're just cutting through. And as everyone knows in our neighborhoods, cut through is our biggest problem. People cutting through. So, you know, if you've been on 42 when it's backed up, it's terrible.
It's awful.
So, it's definitely something to look at. I don't know if it's feasible, but, you know, they've done it up at exit 7. They've done some of that to alleviate some of the traffic. Like from 7, you get off the Turnpike and you get right on 195 now. Used to not do that.
Nick, I remember that day too when we talked with Bill and the others. We talked about the maintenance of that area too.
Yes, that's what we
us possibly taking over that versus, you know, keeping the Turnpike on, because the Turnpike doesn't take care of it that well. And if they doled it over to us to get it taken care of, it might be a much more appeasing entrance coming into Runnemede.
Yeah, and that's something we're still going to work on. We still think that entrance really could look nicer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cutting grass, trimming bushes, planting bushes, doing different things like that. So we're still going to move forward. I mean, we hate to pile on to Public Works, but what are you going to do? Excuse me for a second here. Okay.
They can hire more people.
That's right, there you go. Okay, so if everyone's okay, we can draft a letter. It's just a letter from council, basically saying that we endorse the idea of the Turnpike Authority at least investigating it. Does everybody think that that's okay?
Yes, I totally approve.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then discussion of use of state contract for purchase of fire equipment and computers. I'm not familiar with this one. Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kearney?
Greg knows about it.
Okay.
Greg, you there?
We have to, you there?
His mic just went on.
Wake up.
Basically, for the computers that we just purchased, we have to put on a resolution for the purchasing them through state contract.
Okay.
But even though they're on state contract, you would like a resolution, Mr. Anderson? You're there? It doesn't matter. We can put a resolution on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the purchase. If everyone remembers, we did the firewall, we did the server, we're doing the new computers. I think it's close to 30 computers throughout the borough. Is that correct?
24. It's on the bill list from tonight. It's quite a bit of money, like $12,000, $13,000. But 24 computers throughout the borough. It's on the bill list, the first page.
Now, everybody understands that we had to do this year in order to meet the compliance for the JIF. Everybody understand that? It had to be done by December. Just everybody understands that.
Not a problem. We'll do a resolution, or Mr. Anderson, you're not there, huh? Do you think he needs a resolution?
Yeah, well, that's what he asked me to put on.
We have to do it tonight, because Greg is saying it's on the bill list. It doesn't matter, I guess.
No, I'll put it on for Tuesday.
Next week, yeah.
So before we go around the room, each councilman, I did have a note for a couple quick things. One is just to make sure that this body is aware of the Reimagine Runnemede and Art Committee doing the Labyrinth. And so many of us have been down there to see it. It's a low impact type of project in the sense that it's ground level at this point. It may expand itself in the future. There's a started area, circle's already been done. I think Public Works is aware of it, cutting the grass, seeing how it works out. It's one of the things that we have to, see how it works and try to do a good job. I think both the Reimagine group and our art committee group, I think, has done tremendous work. I think Mr. Ranieri is looking for a formal resolution now, and I think we should say, correct it, John?
Joyce and I, excuse me, Mary, yeah, Joyce and I were talking about it. She has a rough copy of it, and we'll be introducing that next week.
It's just something basically supporting it, but still allowing this board to review and
Still have the oversight. Still have
It's
oversight.
our responsibility to maintain these things. So, in the future, if the art committee doesn't exist, the borough still has responsibilities. So we want to make sure that we're keeping it up.
So I thought this is the resolution authorizing them to put it there. No?
It
It
is.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Well, you said it already, Nick, you said it, I didn't go down there, but you said it already started. So
Yeah. Well,
the mayor and council. I thought all things were to be presented to mayor and council.
they jumped the gun slightly. We went down there and we said,
What-
why don't we put some bricks down there as a test run? And I guess the idea was to do a small circle was the best way to do a test run. Is that accurate, Mr. Ranieri?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Now, so it's
To make sure the project was going to work. And just before we
Donation.
go any further, Patty, before we go any further, it was just a test. And then really the mayor wanted to, after looking at the location, everybody agreed on the location, just a test to see that the bricks, if we put them there, first of all, it's not going to require any landscaping for public works. The mowers can drive right over it. We want to make sure that the bricks don't sink into the ground and become a hazard, or just the project won't work. We're still testing it, and the resolution coming up is for council to approve the location before we get started.
because it's much larger than the little circle that's there, correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
That'll all be on the resolution, the size of it.
Okay, so what is this project going to cost? Does anybody know?
It's going to be, there's going to be some fundraising, and it's only going to cost, we're going to try and do it for as little as we can, but we think it's going to fund itself, and if not, a portion will come out of our next year's budget, 2021, from Reimagine Runnemede's art budget, so.
Well, there is some money in the art committee's budget though, John. There's some,
It's an approximate $5,000, a little bit over 5,000.
And Reimagine Runnemede has that in their budget, or are you going to do fundraisers or donations?
Fundraising, yeah.
We're going to try to do like the bricks with your name, your grandchildren's name, businesses. It's going to be very nice, and we do think that people are going to get behind it. And listen, it's a place for peace and contemplation. It's a nice place to go to relax, clear your head, and be out in the outdoors. So it's going to bring peace to the town. I love it.
I'm gonna get you a bench that says Patty Passio. You're gonna sit Patty.
What?
I'm gonna get a Patty Passio bench.
I got a bench right across the street, and I'm
He
painting.
does. He does have a bench.
I love it. You touch my bench, and you touch my tree, you're in trouble.
Okay.
I put an orange ribbon on it yesterday.
All right, so Mr. Ranieri and Ms. Pettis Kelly, we have those drawings. We'll put that all together. Make sure
Yeah,
the drawings.
I'd like to see, the presentation of what it's going to look like. I mean, I did see, but it's hard to make out for me. I'd like somebody to say, hey, this is
Well,
going to.
Nick, David's here if he wants to talk. I see his mic's on.
Bob, did you have a question, Bob? I see you're unmuted.
Oh, no, only thing it was, we spoke about the trees or the bushes that we're going to put in, and they weren't friendly or something. We were talking about.
Okay, Mr. Bach did review the project a little bit. And once again, because it is in a wetlands, Green Acres funded park, certain bushes are more, he wanted natural species. He didn't want the, if any bushes need to be planted, our engineer would at least like to give some heads up so that those bushes match what are native to our soil.
Native plants were sustainable.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
So, thank you, Bob. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
So where are you talking about? The plants that they already planted, that tried
No. This is
around.
this is
Here's the Labyrinth.
Yeah, and a buffer between the basketball courts and the Labyrinth.
Oh,
But that buffer should be native plants.
you ought to make something soundproof there.
I
Well,
don't know if it'll be soundproof, but just screening.
Peace.
quieter.
No, that'd be nice. Something smelly and pretty.
Okay, so before we go again, once again, I just wanted to talk about La Quinta, just so everyone knows, La Quinta, La Quinta. And I think I have met Mr. Kearney's on. I did speak to the owner. He is very happy that we did the redevelopment zone. He is trying still. The original applicant that came in front of the planning board for the senior housing is still interested, which I think would be wonderful for the community. The company out of Minnesota has still not gone away.
Wow.
They're still spending money. They're still doing investigating and things like that. So
Slow hand.
They've started to get some of their electric turn back on. Obviously, our goal is for them to get their fire suppression system working, all the public safety aspects of it working first, and securing the building so that both our fire department and police department don't have to deal with this building, and our public works department doesn't have to deal with this building. So I don't know if anybody has seen anything going on down there yet. I do know that some...
A lot of cars in the parking lot. I don't know what that's about.
Well, that's just, we're allowing them currently to just sublease the parking lot as a little bit of an incentive for him to fix the building up. I'm not saying it's working, but so far, I think the electricity did get turned back on again, which is the first step of getting the fire alarm back on again.
Do you think he's ever going to do something with this property, Nick? What's his plans?
Well, what he said to me in a brief call was that he's a hotel guy, so he only knows hotels, but he doesn't know if it can be. He's trying to sell to a hotel company. His other option is the original company that came in and wanted to do the senior housing, and then some variation of that senior housing or that type of housing. Even if it's not necessarily seniors, but say it was 55 and older, those type of applications. So, the building isn't conducive to be, say, necessarily an apartment complex, but it could be, because it has the big banquet hall at the bottom, the kitchen, there's the kitchen facilities down there. It could be ideal for certain types of, the memory care is what the planning board had approved, which we thought was a fantastic.
Yeah, great. That would have been wonderful.
But he at least, it was an unsolicited call. He called me out of the blue. I was actually with Mr. Farrell and Mr. Bach when the call came in. And I wanted to take it because he never calls us. And so I made sure that I took it. And he said that they were looking forward to maybe doing something. So I'm hoping to see something come along shortly. But I will say that the redevelopment zone on 9th Avenue has done two things for us. One, it's helped him out a little bit so he can market it a little bit better. And two, the Richards Group, if everyone doesn't know, has put the industrial park up for sale.
No, we didn't know.
Yep, so they put it up for sale. They have a potential buyer already. And so that could be very positive for us also, because one of the points he said was by having this redevelopment zone, it would also maybe incentivize the new owners to maybe build some additional warehousing back there, which is permitted in that area of the warehouse.
Nick, is that both sides of the road?
So with the redevelopment zone, all the empty parcels, plus, you're talking about the redevelopment zone, or you're talking about the 9th Avenue?
9th Avenue.
Okay, 9th Avenue, he owns, I think, he owns all the buildings except the 2 hotels. And Joyce, what else doesn't he own back there? It's just, he owns all those buildings back there.
You remember?
And maybe one other one.
Most of it.
Yeah. And all the empty parcels. So he would be selling all the buildings plus the, he's been a great tenant. I mean, he's been a great property owner. I think he's done a great job.
Mayor, I did receive Oprah requests for both the La Quinta property and for 9th Avenue properties and for Harvey's properties from environmental companies who are doing the studies.
That's very good. That shows that there's interest in these properties.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to hear, Joyce.
And well, you know what? I'll wait and see if somebody doesn't mention the other 2 things. But let's go around the room now. Committee reports. Ms. Pasio, did you have anything further you wanted to add? Unmute.
Turn on your
Unmute.
mic, Patty. Unmute. What?
I don't know, because
There
something
you
came.
go, there you go.
There you go.
Did you do that, Joyce, to me?
I unmuted you.
How to answer yes or no, that was really a tough question. Yes, we have a cleanup on Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning over at we'll start at Green Acres, depending on how many people that will show up.
8 o'clock in the morning? Ooh.
Yeah, from 8 to, I think he said noon. I don't, I'm going to try to be there. I might have to take my cats to get TNR'd, so some cats, so I'll try to be there as soon as I can.
You'll go to the bike path at all?
It depends. Listen, it depends on how many show up. Yes, he has intentions to send them there. He has intentions to send them all over.
First Lake?
Hirsch Lake. So it's Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and the police, the nonprofit. So they're working on that. And then there's the blood drive that we all are aware of, which is October 7th from 1 to 6 p.m. at the Harry Williams. I think that's Wednesday. Yes, because October 6th is our council meeting. And of course, we had our townwide yard sale on
In the rain. In the rain.
And it rained on and it rained off, and people did have stuff down there covered, then they take it off because And I left it up to them. Tomorrow I said Sunday's the rain date, so go ahead and put it out. And I got a lot of phone calls, and I got phone calls 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. I don't mind. That's what I'm there for. So, I hope people did take advantage to go out Sunday and have some yard sales. At least it did bring people out to talk, and that was a good thing. So people got to get out a little bit and ride around. I saw a lot of people riding around. So that was that. That's this year's. I do believe last year there was rain too. So I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
So, and with that, I think that's progress. I can talk about Christmas, but I won't. Not now, not yet. And that's it. Keep our fingers crossed for the movie. I think the drive-in movie is going to be great. So fingers crossed.
Thank you, Patty.
See what happens. Progress. Yep. Questions, Nick? Anybody? Anybody have any questions?
No. Everything sounds great.
Okay.
Why don't we go right to you, Eleanor? Do you have public safety, anything?
Yes, I'll be looking at hiring a new EMT girl, Amanda Hubry, and she'll be on at $13.50 an hour, and she's part-time, and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be at the council meeting next week. I did meet with John and the two officers, and it was a very interesting meeting. We have two young men coming on board that we just hired tonight. Thank you all. I appreciate your support in that. And it's going to make I was just asking our officers what our age we're a young group. We're a really young group. Our average age is 34. That's a young group. So, and these guys are really young. These guys.
Careful.
Yeah.
You're getting yelled at.
I'll put the muzzle on.
What am I getting yelled at for?
Age.
Age.
Can't talk about age. We're an equal opportunity employer.
Okay. Has anybody seen the Catholic Star Herald on the playground?
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Made the front page.
Beautiful.
Right on Channel 17, there's going to be a live segment from the playground. So if you are up at 8 o'clock or 8:30 on Thursday morning, you'll see us talking about the playground.
I think Eleanor painted half of that.
A lot of hours, and that's not asphalt. That was a lot of hours, but it was all wonderful. And to see the accomplishment that everybody achieved, it's just amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
just amazing. So, I don't have anything else. That seems like the end of my report, unless John, I guess, John, you'll pick it up from here on finances.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is let me jump over to Bob.
Okay.
And then do, because John, I think, has a lot. So Bob, did you?
I'm not sure, man. I'm tired.
Okay. Bob, did you want to go over your stuff?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. The mayor and Steve Bach and Mark Baser, we met on Friday, and it was a great meeting, and we basically stood on two things at the most. One was Beaver Branch Park, putting in the lights. We've had that money for a while, and we're trying to decide where to put the lights. And the consensus of everybody was to start around the bathrooms, the 5 lights there. And which makes sense because, you know, that's like the focal point. And then the mayor mentioned running conduit, is that right? Conduit all the way down to almost down where the boats would ramp would be for later lights. And also we talked about the sign, where to put the sign. The mayor thinks we should move it to a different spot, and it makes sense because, you know, coming in, you want to know where you're at. And we also, excuse me?
You do not see that sign.
No, we don't. But if the lights were there in a different position, I think it would be great. We also talked about finishing the lap around when you're walking, taking down the guard ramps and putting up wood, which would make it more aesthetic for what we're looking for, and putting, you know, the walkway in, and I think that would be a great thing for us, and hopefully we'll get it done. And extending the parking lot. Right.
Especially during soccer. Oh my God. And now with all the pebbleball people coming, those pickleball people, they are there every Saturday. They are there.
And Mark's put up something, he showed where if we added to the parking lot and made an opening for people coming across to the basketball courts and all that, that would work. And yeah. Also, we talked about Davis Road project. Excuse me?
What's wrong with Davis Road?
The sewer project. And basically finding, you know, which the best way to run the pipe.
I thought the CCMUA was going to do that.
Well, we still need the architects to.
We're talking about the engineering aspect of it, where the pipes go, connections, all that stuff.
Oh, the CCMUA doesn't do that.
No, this is a Runnemede project. Now the only thing they charge a fee to connect in, but it's actually all the pipes. The 27 miles of pipes, the 9 pump stations, are all the Borough of Runnemede. We pump it to Broadway, and then Broadway pumps it to Camden, and then Camden cleans it. So that's that second building.
I know that. I just thought that those new sewer things would all be done by, everything would be done by the CCMUA. I was under the impression that they would do all the laying of the pipe.
This is a Runnemede project. That's why Bob's saying it's an engineering project, where it's not just the sewer pipes, it's all the roads. That's why Bob's talking about Davis Road, and all those roads are going to have to be paved. There's ADA compliances, all that kind of stuff that has to be worked out.
Wow.
Bob, I didn't mean to jump in, but I should.
No, you're fine.
I think I had to jump in.
And we were talking about getting the neighbors on board and traffic flow, because that's going to be tore up for a while. Yeah. So we're talking, whatever they do in the day, it's going to have to be covered for, you know, so people can drive. They're going to open it up the next day. So it's going to be, quite a project, but the end result's going to be tremendous for those people that live back there. And for us too, you know, it's going to be a moneymaker for Runnemede too, you know. Also, we talked about the streets. We talked about Rowan and Highland, half completed, but when we get our next funds, we'll finish that all the way up to on the other side of Clemens Bridge Road too. Harry Williams, we talked about the roof again, and see what we can do there. Nick mentioned he had roof done on his, and he liked how it came out, so we're gonna, see if, get different quotes on that to see, if we can afford to do the project. I talked to Greg today. I think we have like 150,000. Is that right, Mayor?
Yes, I saw that. Thanks for the report out. Yeah.
Yes. So,
But that's also so much for for the Borough Hall too, so I think we should focus on the gym. I think that's what council, remember the one meeting we had, council really felt to get the gym fixed. And I think what Bob's talking about is trying to put the best roof we can on that building. And if everyone knows my building, the roof blew off, and I had a really, it's called a TPO roof, which is like a rubber roof, which is phenomenal. And it's it reflects the sunlight, so it keeps the building cooler. And we could get 30 or 40 years out of it. So, but I think we needed to find out how much money we have, and we can go out for bid.
I think that roof's 50 years. Is that right, Nick?
We figured out that the existing roof is 50 years old.
So
We got our money out of it.
Yeah. So I think it's time to reinvest in that, and all the rest is progress.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
John, you want to just keep going?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to go down the list. In finance, our 2019 audit has been completed. We're waiting for the results. Greg thinks we did pretty well. There's a delay because there's it's called a Gatsby report we're waiting on. And we're hoping that we get the results to see how there's anything that we need to improve on, or how we performed last year, how our audit went. I'll keep everybody abreast on that. We are busy spending our capital funds. We got the scout building starting, the computer programs. The computers are being replaced at the Borough. Library is another project that we have going right now. So the capital spending is happening. Our new treasurer has settled in, and I went to see her today, and she's happy. I asked her if she needed anything, and she said she's got everything she needs. I did buy her, myself, a window. You know how I got Greg the Goff window? I had her pick the view she wanted because her room doesn't have a window. So she now has the view. She picked it, and it's a beautiful view she has on her wall to look at every day. I was glad to do that. And things are moving as normal in finance. We're doing pretty well. Let me get right back to the PI program. Myself and Eleanor, Nick, and Kathy and Joyce, we have a meeting. Friday, I'll be introducing this to the sustainable program to Alex, the director. I will be sending him our finished landscape project, which means it's an overview of all of our IT, each of our departments, what we're using, how our structure is. There's a bunch of questions. Eleanor, my head was going to explode when we were going through everything. But it gives a good assessment, a little snapshot of where we are, what they want to see. When I say they, the sustainable program, the PI program, they want to see where we're at. They're going to want to see our next thing, I believe, what is it that we wanted to do over the next year, 3, 5 years, and then their recommendations, how to get there financially and physically. So I'm looking forward to the move. What it does, it lights a fire under us. We may all have desires and things we want to implement eventually, like the universal calendar and things. This puts a little bit of a fire under us to get it going. So it's a performance thing, and I really think it's nice, and it's a good timing, because with us all sitting back with the pandemic, it's nice to see the town move forward and become part of the future, and one of the leading, we're going to be one of the leading towns to do something. So the more I know, more everybody will know. I'll be working with the mayor and Eleanor and the committee the next couple of days, and this weekend I have to choose. By Saturday, I have to choose our next video meeting with the sustainable program with Alex, and I'll get that date out. I may call you and ask you what days are best for everybody. Okay, Mayor? I don't know what our choices are yet. Once I get it, I'll get in touch with you about that. So I'm really excited about this program. And Patty, not exactly sure everything that it's going to do for us, but one thing it's going to do, it's going to enlighten us. It's going to give us all more information, a better understanding of where we're at. And that's exciting to me because we do work hard. A lot of times we don't pay too much attention to the details. We're paying attention to the details with this, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It won't just be Nick that knows everything, because Nick does have quite a bit of knowledge. And this kind of spreads it around, you know?
Just one thing, John, just one thing. You never got that organizational chart. We need that for our submission, the organizational chart.
I think
Nick,
that
you got one.
I will look for it.
There you go.
I need to be updated.
Well, we'll get what we have, whatever we're talking about there. Make a note, Nick, make sure we have that, because I'm going to implement that for Saturday. Eleanor, are you prepared to give me the final package?
Without the organizational chart, yes, you'll get it tomorrow.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. That's it for the pie right now, and of course, Eleanor mentioned St. Teresa's. What a fantastic project. You know, if you can make it up there Thursday, it would be great to see you. I'm going to be up there, and it's just going to be, we're going to get to watch some of the kids playing and utilizing the actual playground, and it just was an amazing thing. Throughout the whole program, you know, I've got a lot of phone calls, and we got a lot more volunteers too that came out to help us paint. New people, new members, people that want to just be part of the community. And we met some great people and made some really good connections. That was exciting. The entire time we practiced social distancing, which was amazing. And we had, you know, different times. You might paint 5 to 6, another group would come from 6 to 7. There weren't too many people. It was a well-organized plan. And Danielle from St. Teresa's, she deserves a lot of credit. And she'll be there Thursday as well. You can say hello to her.
And what time is it?
Eleanor, what time is it? 8?
You should be there by 8. The TV program will be there at 8:30, and this will be on television at 10 of 9.
8 in the morning?
Yeah.
So it would be worth coming out and watching. Of course, you bring your mask and we'll practice social distancing. And let me see. I think that's
Don't forget about the opening. John, what about the opening on Wednesday night at 5 o'clock? Remember Danielle said she's going to have the official opening and she'd like council to be there?
No, I think we moved it to Thursday. I'm not certain about that, Oliver.
Oh.
I'm not certain about that. So let's stick with Thursday. And then the last but not least, the Labyrinth. Go ahead, Eleanor.
You think it's going to be Thursday night instead of Wednesday night?
I just can't think about it right now. You'll have to check it and let us know.
I guess we'll have to talk with Danielle.
Yeah. So let's stick with the Thursday morning if you're going to be a part of
yeah, that's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I think that David's still out there. The Labyrinth. Excited to bring it to council next week. It's just a nice project that David's going to get behind. David, when it's open, Mike, you'll have a chance to talk.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
And it's just in its testing stages right now. No problem. But it's going to be a 50, 60 foot flat, just like a little maze, little walking track in a circular form. And again, it's a place just to relax, contemplate, think about things. You're out in nature, and it's something really nice for the town, a place of peace and serenity. So we're going to try to do that and fund it just between donations. And we just want to get all our T's crossed and our I's dotted so that we can go out and put some paperwork together, start advertising it, and get the community involved. So we're not going to do any of that until we get council's approval next week. And the mayor, myself, and Joyce will bring that forward. And the rest is progress.
And thank you, John. I want to mention something for Thursday. If everyone doesn't know, Joe Walperly's mom passed away. And so we did send flowers from the mayor and council. The viewing is at 8:45 on Thursday also. So between 8:45 and I think 10:45, everybody read the Adventure Gardeners. And then at Trinity Lutheran afterwards. So Maybe I'll put
Thank
my
you, Dave.
suit on and I'll hit St. Teresa's and I'll head over there.
Same thing. Yeah, we'll do both.
We can do that. So
That'd be great.
At this point, Mr. Lovenstein, you want to jump in?
Yes, sir. Hang on 1 second here. Let's see, with Public Works, we know about the 2 employees that were hired. Leaf schedules to be posted this Friday coming up. The leafers are being serviced and prepped to start, get ready for the fall season. Been patching potholes. The demo started at the Scout building. Manhole was replaced at Schubert and Evesham. I don't know if Bob talked about that. There were no issues. Quotes are coming in tomorrow for 3rd and Detmar. The storm drain down by at the bottom of 3rd. And that's about it. Also at the field house, the lock is not working properly, but Harry got the locksmith in or is coming in tomorrow. And the fields are being maintained. Richie knows that. I do have to say I was down at the field house today trying to fix the lock on the building. On the field house, there's a combination lock. You need to program it with a computer. But the keypad's not working, but me and my infinite wisdom, I went down there and tried to use the keypad to program the lock, but the keypad's not working, so I couldn't do anything. So anyway, the rest is progress.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lovenstein. And our newest member, Mr. Shapiro, even though you're on month 9. So what do you got?
Not much. Let's see what's going on. Soccer fields, we got the lights over there. We ordered them and got them. They're up and running. So the team, the travel teams are happy that they can practice a little later because it was getting dark real fast. By 7 o'clock, they had to stop everything. It was getting too dark for the kids to see. At the RY, baseball's happening, and at girls softball, they have a couple teams going just to keep the kids going. Yeah, like Craig said, the fields are being maintained by Public Works. They're doing a good job, as always. And I still got to get in touch with John and meet up so we can talk about the sets for the adults.
Next week. Let's do something next week if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
We can either meet at the Borough or my house, your house, but we'll make it happen.
What is that for, John? Or Rich?
Rich,
that's the I guess the like adult style swing sets, but more like they can, do a little bit of exercise and stuff like that.
Yeah, also outdoor. We're gonna look into getting grants, like Nick was talking about. Richie and I are gonna work on potential grants for green acres, treadmills, all kinds of interesting outdoor exercise machines for adults. And
the pictures he sent me the other day, they were good.
Okay, because I had sent a few things over to Tara last year, and I don't know, the Rotary Club she was kind of interested in like the swings and things like that they had. So,
Rich and I were looking at right where the Labyrinth is going to go, and the basketball courts. There's that little brown spot that's never really been used. I think it was for hockey at one time, and it's never been utilized. It's a nice flat place to put some outdoor machinery. Possibly, if we get some grant money, we could put some great exercise equipment in there. I think that would be a home run. So, Rich wants to start working on that. We're going to get together.
Yeah, he's going to teach me how to look for grants and all that.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
The Public Works got in touch with Pest Control because the softball field's dugout had a bunch of beehives. I think 2-inch mud, Harry was saying, so they took care of that, so it's safe over there for the dugouts. Even though the teams aren't using it, they're average. I think they're having 4 to 5 kids in the dugout at a time, and then everybody else stays outside. That's the only way they can do it. Everybody's doing that. And the rest is progress.
Richie, did you meet with the pickleball people?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. We did meet with the pickleball people. What they basically wanted was dedicated times to use the courts. And myself, Craig, and Bob were there talking to him. And we liked the idea. I think they want to have from 9 to 11 every day, where their group can use the fields and nobody else. We said okay to about 4 out of the 6 courts. We didn't think it was right that if somebody wanted to come off the streets and use the courts at that time, they didn't have anything available. So we kind of still talking, but we said 4 out of 6 courts you can have from 9 to 11. And the other 2, if nobody's using it, they can use it. But if somebody shows up, they're going to have to nicely remove themselves from it. We didn't want to.
Richie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, our 1 hour time limit is enforced if someone else shows up. So they dominate all the courts. And also, Rich, I didn't tell you, but I got an email today from a woman, the liaison, about they want to put up some pickleball racket holders on the fence. They're just going to bolt them to the fence. They're plastic. No, not going to damage the fence at all. So,
all right, that's fine.
yeah. And also, I gave her your email from now on. Thank you very much.
And let me.
Out of it. Hey, God, glad I'm out.
And they're going to, and probably down the line, they're going to want lights eventually down there, but we'll talk about that later.
All kidding aside, we should be letting them know about our cleanups and stuff. Because if they're going to utilize our facilities, they can chip in, right? So we have to figure out a way to get that to them.
So we get them in here, let them do what they have to do, and then be like, all right, come on, now the time to pay them.
Fill this trash bag up.
Exactly. They were a nice group of ladies, and they're
good people.
Yeah, they were.
They're nice people. Yeah.
And it seemed, I'm not a tennis guy, but it seemed like it was fun. So, even my wife looked at it. He's like, I want to try that. And I said, all right. And I think she wants to try it, not me. She wants to.
I got 2 rackets, but a bunch of I got a half a dozen of the balls. Anytime you want to borrow them before you buy one, just let me know.
All right. Matter of fact, I'll tell you to meet you there. You can play against my wife.
I got to play Greg first.
Me and you challenge me, but he's avoiding me. So.
But it was nice. So other than that, now it's progress.
Very good.
Thank you, Rich. I do want to add, in case the lawyer forgets it, we did get the deed for the VFW playground. I don't know if everybody's aware of that.
I got it. It's number 1 on the list.
I figure one thing, I'm going to let him talk. So we will spend some money down.
Put a period on it.
We're going to have to fix that playground.
There's no take backs.
Start looking at that. Okay. At this time, let's go to the lawyer. How about Mr. Long?
Hello, Dan.
Mrs. Kelly, I'm scared. All right, so we got the, as the mayor just said, the signed deed for the VFW property. We have gone into the Scout building and believe we started making the repairs necessary there. We are still finalizing some of the paperwork, but we do have their permission, so no problem there. But nothing that's going to hold anything that we need to do up. The mayor talked about the redevelopment that's going on. Last week, the state issued some long-awaited guidance and regulations on public meetings. The good news is that, as you see, that we haven't changed anything this week because our mode was in compliance with the regulations even before they were even promulgated by the state, so that and the DCA. So that's a good thing. Nothing needs to change for now, but if and when we do decide to go back, there are some requirements that we would need to follow in terms of social distancing, masking, limits requirements, how much your anticipated audience is going to be.
We do have a very good relationship with the foster care agency, and when a student checks yes to that question, it's automatically sent to the agency, and the agency sends us proof on their behalf, and then we will make them independent.
There we go.
Thank you. So that's something we need to think about if and when we transition back to in person. I will certainly keep an eye on any Halloween guidance that comes out. I think once the month flips over to October, you will be seeing a little bit more of that. I know some towns are already saying they're going to discourage it, but we'll certainly keep an open mind, and I'll keep everybody informed. And beyond that, unless there's any questions, I'll say progress. No. Next question.
The firehouse, how is that coming along with the bank? I saw the agreement, we talked about the agreement, now what's happening?
Nick, are you going to give me an update today that I forget? It's off the top of my head. I know I wrote it down somewhere.
The fire company has a general meeting coming up. They're going to vote and hopefully sign off on the lease. And then once that's signed off, we can now sign on our side and then use that to go to the bank. So that's the plan. We have to have an agreement with the fire company. Council has to agree. Then it goes to the bank.
Thank you, Mayor.
That makes sense? Eleanor, did that make sense? That we have to get the lease signed before we can submit it to the bank?
Nick, we've been playing this game for over a year. And I am sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of not getting any results. I'm just sick and tired of it.
All right, tell the fire company to meet tomorrow night.
I'll push.
Move their meeting up.
I'll push.
So, okay, anything else, Mr. Long?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, are you available?
Greg, we can't hear you. Joyce, did you turn his mic on or did he do that?
Oh, now I'm lost again.
Did you turn on his mic or did he do that?
Greg's mic's on.
I think Greg doesn't want to
For some reason, we can't hear it.
All right, we'll come back to you, Greg. Mr. Wozen.
Mayor, from our wonderful two council people that oversee public works and parks and facilities, everything's been reported, so progress.
Did you want to talk about the trash cans for your clean communities?
The trash can. We have money left over in the Clean Community Grant funds, and we were looking at the same cans that we have along the Black Horse Pike in our facilities, mainly around the facilities, the double cans. We're looking at repurchasing some more of them cans and placing them along the Black Horse Pike. So that's in progress right now of collecting all the sites, seeing how many sites we have, and see how much of the funding we can put towards that.
I think that's a real positive, the clean communities, because trash is a huge problem throughout the whole town.
Yeah.
So I think the more public cans we have, hopefully people will put trash in the cans. And they're not trash cans, they're trash recycle cans.
And those particular receptacles are nice. They're holding up well too as time goes on. Yeah, very nice.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Did you have a question, Patty?
Yeah, with the Clean Communities money, Harry, we can buy the public trash cans for the town. I'm sorry, for the town, not for the residents.
Correct. For the Clean Community, we could buy for the town for receptacles along public access and so forth. The recycling tonnage is where for the recycling cans for the residents.
For the residents, okay. I knew there was one that you could, one that you couldn't. Okay. Thank you for clearing that. Thank you.
Well, just because we have a few more guests before we go. Oh well, first of all, Mr. Bayshore, Mr. Bayshore, would you like to do your engineering report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bob did such a great job with his report. I don't have anything to add. I have 2 homework items to get Joyce the resolution for the redevelopment study and to come up with a list for the native plants at Green Acres. And other than that, I'll rely on what Bob had reported on.
Thanks, Mark.
I see Mr. Sampolsky, Captain Sampolsky. Did you want to add anything tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mayor, Public Safety Committee, and Joyce for getting these two officers on tonight, since they have a date at the range tomorrow at 9 a.m. and they'll be starting their careers Thursday and Friday in the FTO program. Our new car is on the road, the one we ordered last year that got held up. Chief Daly ordered the two new hybrid cars that we're hoping to get in before the end of the year. And we'll be getting rid of one of our older vehicles. I spoke to Joyce today, and she's going to help me out to make sure we can get that on the docket for the council meeting, to get that in the progress to being sold. One of our older vehicles. Other than that, everything's going great.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, you want to try again, or you want to try one more time before we go? If there was anything you wanted to add? Sounds like we...
Here.
All right. Well, Greg's having a problem. Okay, so we're going to finish up quickly then. Greg, if you can get on, we'll just keep going. So let's get a couple things done first. Payment of bills. Is there a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
I'll second that motion.
Motion Ms. Smith by Ms. Pastel, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Pasio,
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri,
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Farrell,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, the bills can be paid. Mr. Farrell, if you have to go now, I understand. You have another engagement.
Thank you.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, Bobby.
See you, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Okay.
Good talking to you.
I got to run too, guys. I'm going to take off.
All right, Mr. Lobenstein, thank you. Okay, we're going to go to this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, give your name and address. Joyce, can you make sure that everybody's unmuted?
I can try.
Okay, is there anyone from the public?
Yes, this is David Steinberg speaking. I wanted to let the council know.
Your address, again, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you want my address?
Yes, you have to give your name and address.
I live at the Brunson House, 825 East Clements Ridge Road, apartment 313. I want to let council know that I had a really interesting discussion with a representative from the University of Pennsylvania today. She works at the Weitzman School of Architecture in Penn Praxis. Essentially, discussed briefly some of the things that we have here at Runnemede, and I asked about the possibility of perhaps a student might be able to come and provide some assistance to us on a professional basis, and she's very open to that. I sent an email to everybody here, although I will say that both Eleanor and John had already received theirs before the meeting. Just about 2 minutes before the meeting, when I finally got back from the previous meeting, I sent it to all the rest of the council people as well. And I'm going to refer any comments after if you all had an opportunity to be able to read this. Essentially, I wanted to start a discussion. And so everybody has it here. And then certainly any feedback I'd be glad to entertain. And also I plan to be at the meeting next week because you're also going to be considering the Labyrinth. So unless there are any questions now, I'm just going to sign off.
I have a question, David. What are you speaking with? Getting a help, getting a hand from regarding what projects?
From a professional planner for the town.
Just in regards to any plans,
No, specifically Black Horse Park Business District.
Okay, so the redevelopment in the Black Horse Pike?
Yeah, we already have a program in force. Nothing really been, not very much has been done since it was passed. And I figured it wouldn't hurt to get some good professional opinions on this. And again, they did say it would not, there would be a charge for it. They could not discuss that because it depends on the scope of the work. I described that in the email, so you get an opportunity to be able to read that. And again, I'm doing it with the idea that looking for the looking for the highest and best use as far as Lockwood Pike area is concerned.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll review the email and we'll get back to you. Thank you, Dave.
That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. I gotta run now because my girlfriend called me and I couldn't talk to her a few minutes ago. So good night, everybody.
No.
See you.
Dave,
I'll be here next week.
Thank you.
careful. Be careful.
Is there anyone else from the public? I see one other caller, but I can't tell. I think that might be Mary. I don't think there's anyone else from the public.
Maybe.
Okay, seeing or hearing no one else from the public, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Pastor, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Before we adjourn, is there anything else that anybody would like to say?
I just want to say that it has been a pleasure joining you for the first time without a problem.
What
Ryan-
happened? I went to work.
Yeah, that's right.
Ryan Anderson was working while we were meeting yesterday, those 2 hours that we were spending with our new officers. He was here diligently setting me up with a camera, a microphone, stereo speakers. I am like,
That's awesome.
I
You're
know.
looking good, Eleanor, you're looking good.
Yeah.
Tied up.
So thanks,
Kudos to Ryan.
Ryan. He's just the best. Ryan is the best.
Very good. Well, it made it much nicer this evening. Now,
Yes,
let's fix Mr. Anderson, and he's the one
He's gotta go over Greg's.
on the computers.
Oh, there, he just lit up. Greg?
No.
Yeah, maybe you're your IT guy, Greg. I don't know.
Yeah, gotta call Ryan tomorrow.
Get him over there.
Can't hear you.
Okay, so at this point, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting happily.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 7:41. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening.